When it's bad, it's just really bad. And right now, if you're a fan of the Brooklyn Nets, this is as bad can get. How is everybody doing tonight? This is NYG Jeff ET3285, and I'm back with another video. And tonight I'm just going to recap the Game 3 tonight between the Brooklyn Nets and the Boston Celtics, as the Celtics come into Barclays Center tonight and pick up a very impressive 109-103 victory over the Brooklyn Nets and take a commanding 3-0 lead in this first round series of the NBA playoffs, with a chance to close it out this coming Monday at Barclays Center. Boston has just done an incredibly good job at just taking Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving completely out of the game, where they're both turning the ball over at a very high rate. Both guys can't get their own shot. Both are chucking up bad shots. They can't get into their sets. They're turning it over too much. Kevin Durant had another pedestrian game tonight, 18 points on another very off-shooting night. Kyrie Irving, who's been in foul trouble the entire night, scored 16 points. And Bruce Brown ended up having another solid game tonight, as he scored 26 points. So good kudos to him. And Blake Griffin actually had some minutes off the bench and scored 8 points and gave him some hard minutes. But in the end, it just wasn't enough to defeat this Celtics team that just right now seems to be outmatching the Nets at everything they do. Whether it's shooting the ball at clutch situations, whether it comes to rebounding, they're just going harder at the against the glass. Whether it goes with their defensive sets, whether it goes to getting the Nets to turn the ball over. Celtics are just doing an absolutely tremendous job right now, and I give all the kudos to Ime Udoka, who's doing a good job with that Celtics team. Marcus Smart is playing like the defensive player of the year. He had 14 points tonight. Not the best shooting night for him, but he did his job again on the defensive end. Jason Tatum is proving why he's one of the best young players in this game. 39 points tonight. Jaylen Brown contributed with 23. Robert Williams coming back. First game in the series tonight. Had some big minutes for them. Al Horford didn't do much. Scored a big three-point basket, a dagger shot away at the end of the game. And the Celtics are right now doing everything to frustrate this Brooklyn Nets team. The Nets just seem to have no answer right now on how to try to get more of a consistent shot, get their offense going, and try to contain some of these Boston players on the offensive end. Because right now Tatum is having his way on the offensive end. Brown is having his way. They're getting their guys are making three-point shots at will right now. Whether it's Marcus Smart, whether it's Al Horford, whether it's either one of the Williams boys. It's Grant Williams is having himself some good. Peyton Pritchard is scoring well. Grant Williams is hitting his threes. Robert Williams, I apologize. This team is really taking a lot out of me. I was mad the other night, but this has been for a team that has so much expectations coming into the season. The way that they're going out right now and potentially can go out on Monday in a sweep, when this has been told to be one of the most competitive series. It's very hard to take if you're a longtime fan of this Brooklyn Nets team and you've been a fan of this organization for so long and you felt that this was finally going to be that year where they're going to take that step towards an NBA championship. And just to see everything that's happened with this team this season, the way it's played out, and then just the way that they're getting absolutely manhandled and absolutely just outplayed thoroughly against the Boston Celtics, it's disheartening to see. I mean, if you're a fan of the Nets, you just feel disheartened, you feel dejected, you feel angry, but at this point it's just like you feel hopeless right now, because it's really at a point where, sure, the Nets can go out there, have a good game, and pull out a win against the Boston Celtics, but the chances of them winning 4 straight games, it's very, very slim, possibly none, that they're going to have any shot of making this a series again. And it's a shame. I mean, Ben Simmons still didn't show up on the court tonight. Seth Curry didn't have a good of a game tonight. Patty Mills had some shots, but really didn't show up. Drummond had his worst game of the series so far. Claxton played pretty well, but, still not enough in the center position we're getting. So the Nets are just getting outplayed at every single part of the playoffs. They're getting outplayed. Rebounding, shooting, defensively, turnover wise, everything is going against the Nets, and they're getting outcoached. It's clear that the coaching advantage is squarely in the Celtics' favor because Ime Udoka is doing a hell of a job with that Celtics team. And it just seems like Steve Nash has no idea what he's doing. I mean, he might be trying, but it seems Steve Nash is just completely outclassed right now. And there's a possibility that this could be Steve Nash's last game as a head coach of the Brooklyn Nets if they find a way to get swept in this series on Monday. So, I mean, does this series potentially go on after Monday and then at least extend it to Game 5? Sure. Is there a chance that the Nets is there any chance the Nets could make it a longer series? I doubt it. Right now, I just don't see it. I think the Celtics, they just have taken full control of this series right now. And unless there's barring any very bad injury for Boston, I think the Celtics might close this out on Monday. And if not, they'll close it out at home in Game 5. And I just hate saying that as a Nets fan, but this just feels like another wasted year for the Brooklyn Nets with all this hype and all this potential they've been throwing out there. This could just be another season down the drain. And at this point, it might just be time to get ready for the offseason, see what this team could do and what moves they can make to help this team going into next year. Now, of course, I'm going to cheer for them. Of course, as a fan, I'm always going to cheer for my team. I'm going to hope that they can rebound and maybe by any small chance that they could make this into a competitive series again, but I just don't see it. And Ben Simmons, it's not going to be a good look if you come onto the court and you actually play pretty well and the Nets still lose in Game 4. It's going to be a very bad look for you this offseason. So that's just my quick update. The Brooklyn Nets lose Game 3 to the Boston Celtics by the final score of 109-103. Celtics take a commanding 3-0 lead in the series against the Nets and have a chance to close it out this coming Monday at the Barclays Center, which would just be a fitting way to end this very, very tumultuous and disheartening and just horrible season. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And if you're a Brooklyn Nets fan, sure, just keep the hope. Maybe something could change, but it could be it on Monday, and we could be in for the offseason. So have a great night, everybody. Take it easy.